Hello and welcome to this new session of AKDL tutorial. Last time we've seen how easy it was to generate parsing and runtime code and even evaluation from just a definition of a syntax in this tool. Now I want to emphasize this property here, mark an operator as such, as operator. If I don't do that, we will see here what happens. So assume we didn't mark the operator. We have something like item 1 followed by an operator followed by item 2. In the code, what will be generated is push first item, push operator, push item 2. So exact in the order it appears. And on the stack we see that in the other way from the top. So item 2 first, operator then, and item 1. If we mark our operator, the generated code looks like this. In the code, the operator will be pushed last. So first item 1 appears, then item 2, then operator. And on the stack we see from the top first the operator, then item 2 and item 1. That means we transform this linear notation to a Polish notation on the stack, and if you want, the reversed Polish notation here. Some languages like Forth use just this notation. You say, for example, 1 plus 2, it will be transformed into 1 push, 2 push, and plus. That's the reversed Polish notation, and on the stack you see first your operation plus, and then 2 and 1. So I wanted just to emphasize that because it's important if you want to use the stack to know that. About notation, let's talk about the notation used by AKDL. Normally, traditionally I would say, we use extended Backus-Naur form. I think everybody knows about it. If you see an item within brackets, like here, that means A is optional, or here ABC, this group is optional. We have the same with braces here, where the meaning appears 0 or once or more times. And on the other hand, we have this vertical bar, which is another operator, which means or A or B or C. So to me, this notation appears to have some complexity here, in the sense our brackets and our braces have two roles at once. First, they group elements, and then we apply some operation on them, like is optional or appears 0 or many times. That's for me a complexity, because we have two things in one, so to say. And here we see another operator which acts completely differently, and that is not consistent. So as I needed to represent the syntax definition in a tree, I had to transform that. So I have made a simplification, which was to separate the grouping from the operator. So I invented some signs here for the operator, and I used the already existing simple parentheses for the grouping. And in such a way, this is transformed in that. I have HUD here, meaning is optional, and afterwards I have my item here. And if I have a group of items, I just use parentheses. The same here for appears 0 many times, I use a star. And for this OR operator, I just do it the same way. I have a plus sign, meaning OR, and the items are grouped in parentheses. So that means all what is between these parentheses is an alternative, A or B or C. Having done that, we have the possibility to add some new operator, and that's what I did here. Well, I had the idea to add this sharp sign, meaning appears twice or more. In fact, I didn't implement that in a AKDL editor, but this one is interesting. The ampersand means to me appears in any order you like. So all three items here will appear, but not necessarily in this order. For example, in Java you can have static, private, or private static. And so you can just use this notation to declare that. If you combine then the operators like this, it may be more complex. I mean, the meaning will be more complex, but the notation is really simple. And if I use this plus, I don't need the brackets anymore, and in my case I use the brackets behind the items just to notify that these items will be considered as enum elements. So the keyword defined as this will be considered as an enum, and ABC will be its enum elements. And of course, it's a kind of A or B or C. In this case, I can also give another value to my enum elements as the one I just declared here as ABC. So it gives pretty much possibilities in a simple notation. If we see that in our code, you recognize here, for example, 0 many, the star sign as operator, and it's also shown here in the properties area. We have maybe over here, this one is optional, and the operator as appears in any order, you will find it here. And in the example of Java, we can find it I don't know where. I have to search here. Of course, a modifier will be either synchronized or final, or one of them private, protected, public. in any order you like. And if you look at that in the source, now you know the notation. You will see that here. So here we have in any order you like, optionally the keyword synchronized, or optionally final, or optionally a visibility, which is one of those three, with the value which is lowercase. And here you see a kind of new operator I didn't mention before. That means this keyword will be ignored. Why I do that? It's because I wanted to generate the code, but without explicitly define all keywords. So if I go on check consistencies, I will have some warnings telling those three elements are considered as ignored. Normally I should define them, but I just ignore them temporarily to be able to generate my code. Okay, and here I have a kind of reminder telling, don't forget that. If I search for the next ignored, I come to this and I can turn it to keyword, and now I have to define it. And if I check the consistency, I get an error. This one is undefined. So I cannot generate the code now. I have first to define that. Okay, that's something the tool gives to us to guide us in our declarations. So now here you see something else. You have the possibility to see the source in a colored way, with the same colors as here. If you check that, you see it that way. And if you are not happy with those colors, you may change them just by clicking on the colors you don't like and select the one you want. You have different possibilities here, and either you select something and say OK, or you forget it. And here, if you are not happy with your changes, you can reset. And turning back, here we go back to the row source option, because the priority is given to the best response time, and that's this one. We can see the difference if our code is huge. Let's see with an example. I have here, yes, I have here something which is pretty long, and if I use the colored source option, it lasts some time. So that's why the row source is the preferred solution. So here the response time is much better. Well, I will let you discover by yourself the rest of the features we have here. I think you know enough right now to begin by yourself, and you will discover the rest. And maybe also some bugs. You could just drop a mail or something to inform me, and I will try to fix that. So that's it for this session. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you will have the opportunity to use this tool. So let me know, how do you find it? Thank you for watching. Bye.